Alrighty guys, this week will be the make or break week on the memory stocks. Let's talk about why so. We'll talk in this video about Kospi, SK Hynix and Samsung. Korean market is open, waiting for you to be ready, and let's make some money. So we'll take a look at also how in the overnight session Micron is doing, how Sandisk is doing, and all in all, looking at the price action with Kospi, how things are looking like right now. I did a video in the morning talking about we are just getting to the last stage of the downside on the memory stocks. This is Micron. Check out my morning video if you want to know more detail about those. But I talked about how we are just approaching the bottom now. And Korean market especially did confirm that it is gonna form a bottom over here. So is that the case I'm still seeing with today's price action? Let's jump right into it. Once I let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So Kospi here today is a little bit coming down. All right, yes, it is 4.25% down. However, this is nothing to be worried about right now, okay? Because why so? Because as I said in the morning also, that we found a bounce on Kospi at a very important zone. I mentioned that as if we lose 6,000 when we are coming down, the next zone to watch would be this very zone, 5,000 area. We found a bounce right over there, and right after that what we had to see is a commitment of breakout above 6,000, which Kospi did fabulously. It was what, 30% up that day, almost something? Well, 16% up. That was SK Hynix, that was 30% up on the Korean side. Now, and I mentioned to you guys, look, it doesn't, big markets or any instrument doesn't just come down and go up like that unless it's a meme stock or penny stock. These are not penny stock companies. Like even when we were forming a top here, it's not that we just went up and then came down. No, we went up, tested multiple times, right? And then eventually cracked lower. Similarly, as we are finding a bottom, we will do multiple tests here. And that's where that we are already seeing first, second signs of that happening. First, second stages of bottom formation already happening here. Seeing all of that right now. I also mentioned to you guys that a pullback is possible here still. And today it is trying to do a little bit just that. All right, and it can still do pullback back down somewhere again, mid of between 6,000 and 5,000. It can still do that pullback in this zone and will still be fine. Okay. If you took a short play, when I told you that we are short now, this is the time you gotta start getting out of your short. My thesis would be only invalidated that this is the bottom. This will only be invalidated if we lose $5,000. Okay. Likelihood of that happening, I'll still say, is very rare, but that's where the stop loss has to be. As if we even come down, we will most likely stabilize here, and that's what we want to see. But we are at a critical zone. We are bouncing off of the critical important zone that I have highlighted for you guys previously also. Hourly interval, yes, you can technically, yes, these are part of a rebounds right now in the overall structure. That's something I said on Friday as well. I said on Thursday as well last week. That still remains the case. These are just part of rebounds right now on the overall structure. But these rebounds are showing signs that it want to form a bottom here. All right, so I'm not too worried right now on memory stocks. And don't forget to check out my DRAM portfolio. All right, I told you in the morning also, if you want to make money, join my DRAM portfolio. Details are in the description of this video. Okay, now let's take a look at SK Hynix over here. SK Hynix. Also, we came down all the way, which I was telling you, this is the zone I'm watching, 1 million, right? I was even here telling you guys, I just want to see it down to 1 million, right? We got that. Well, not really over there, but we got very close. And that's all what we need to see is that when we get very close, and then is the price action showing us any sign that it may form a bottom here? Yes, it is. Look at the massive gap we had. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to just straight shoot up. It's the same principles as how I explained to you, that things just don't go straight up and straight down, just like we don't go straight down and straight up. It's going to form a consolidation phase here and a bottom at a critical zone. Like, this is where your best risk to reward is, okay? And as I said to you guys in the morning also, let's actually take a look at the real-time price on SK Hynix. Around 8% down, which is fine. It was 30% up, right? So the last day, yeah, almost there, 30% up almost. So today is, as I said in the morning also, any pullback until back here is still technically still going to be a pullback in the overall direction on SK Hynix. All right, this thesis will only be invalidated if we lose 1 million on SK Hynix. We are bottoming here most likely. As I said, nothing is guaranteed. That's why we need stop losses. But those rebounds now eventually this week will be a make or break week, and most likely will make it happen. And most likely things will stabilize. Again, as I said, nothing is guaranteed. It will be disappointing and unfortunate if we lose 1 million, but likelihood of that are low. Samsung also doing just a part of a pullback right now. Overall good comeback to the upside, but it's just gonna most likely find a base here, bottom here, and as you can see, it's also a little bit shy of 8% down today, but again, it was also almost 30% up the last trading day, like that. Yeah, so anyhow, any pullback until this yellow zone is still fine. Even if a little bit goes lower, that also is fine for me right now. Okay, these are the opportunities that I would like to. If you are doing Samsung, you would want to build a position with the stop loss definitely below that. Nothing is guaranteed, and extra confirmation when it comes, you can add again more. But we are getting very close for that. Now, what we want to see tomorrow on the US market side is, as you can see, Micron is a bit overnight green. You can see bottom right corner here on my screen. It's not up by a lot, but it's sufficient enough that we want to see a follow through. Look, Micron technically didn't collapse much, okay? Like, Micron went for, yes, sure, okay, 40% down, but it still had more room to go down actually. You know, it could have gone to 463. That was the zone I was watching, right? Sandisk came down to like 56% down. Like, I just don't get it. Like, some posts I would read on Reddit, like traders who bought over here, they are selling here. Like, if you love the stock over here, nothing has changed fundamentally. Why you are not loving it here? I don't get it. All right, so yeah, that's why, you know, don't be in the market if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so yeah, so anyways, Sandisk also a bit green in the overnight session, not by a lot in comparison to how it does, but also very likely these all memory stocks are going to play out the same scenario, guys. A little bit of pullbacks will happen this week. That's a likelihood. But this week is the make or break week for the stabilization. SK Hynix very little up also. Again, it's the US side of things. As you can see, we are already down on the SK Hynix on the Korean side. So it's still a little bit up on the overnight session on the US side. So, you know, be happy with that. Seagate is also fine. Seagate is already very strong. So looking all good, right? So anyways, guys, the point is that this week is the make or break week. We may see still some pullbacks, as I said in the morning, but things eventually will be just fine on right now memory stocks. I do think bottom is forming, all right? But as I always say, nothing is guaranteed. We have to have a stop loss. Okay, I'm playing the probabilities here. That's all, right? I'm reading the price action. I'm playing the probabilities, and other side, I'm risk managing it. That's all. It's not complicated as long as you know how to understand the market, how to read the charts. All right, guys, that's all I had for you in this video. And with that, we'll see you in the next videos. Take care. Bye.